Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
A day in the life of a Rockford school student will look much different this fall. The changes district administrators hope will keep COVID from interrupting another year of learning.
The classroom isn't the only area of school life seeing changes. We look at how fall sports are being impacted.
Police and prosecutors announced a review of arrests nearly 2 months ago in Rockford. Those arrests came during a protest that turned violent outside one RPD district.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. We've got more to tell you about what the upcoming school year will look like for the state line's biggest school district.
Rockford Public Schools released a family handbook outlining some of the changes today. For students returning to the classroom, masks will be required. Teachers will be required to wear a mask and a face shield. When possible, teachers will move from classroom to classroom instead of students. Hallway lockers will not be used. There will be no field trips, visitors, assemblies, or social groups allowed. Lunch will be pre-packed, and if any kids receive breakfast, those will be given out the day before so they can eat them at home. Both breakfast and lunch can be picked up every day, even if a student is doing remote learning. There will be daily and weekly cleaning of floors and surfaces.
Parents have until Monday to take a survey and decide if they will send their child to class or keep kids home for remote learning.
If that survey isn't completed by August 3rd, the student will automatically be put in class. Dylan Saraki's live outside Constance Lane Elementary tonight with a breakdown of what both plans look like. Dylan?
Rockford Public School leaders say they're working to improve the remote learning experience so that all students learn what they need to, regardless of whether or not they choose to return to school in person this fall.
I understand that families have so many different variables, and this is such a fluid, difficult time to be making choices around instruction.
RPS 205 is letting parents decide how their student will learn this fall.
No matter what modality a family chooses, whether it's face-to-face, blended, or whether it is a virtual decision, we are going to be prepared to meet the needs of those students.
Either way, middle and high school students will be at home 3 days a week. In-person learning will be either Monday and Thursday or Tuesday and Friday. District leaders say students who opt for full-time remote learning should expect a different experience than last spring.
There's going to be elements of real-time learning that we call synchronous learning, where students can be joining with teachers or smaller groups of students online through a video conference. But there will also be elements of kind of asynchronous learning, which just means they'll be doing it on their own.
Executive Director of Curriculum Ben Epperson says online lessons will use different digital programs depending on the grade.
It's a tool for families to communicate kind of a two-way street with teachers. And so video, audio recordings, things like that become really robust. And that's really important for our little kiddos because so much of the assessment and the progress monitoring has to do with observation.
But we also feel really strongly about our ability to offer blended and face-to-face options. And in many cases, we feel like our most vulnerable students in particular, when I think about kindergarten, first, second, third graders, younger students, students that have extra needs, special education students, English second language learners, many of our students are going to really benefit from that face-to-face option.
Parents must fill out the back-to-school survey by August 3rd, or their kids will automatically be enrolled in in-person learning and will not receive bus service. In Rockford, for your home team, I'm Dylan Saraki.
All right, thanks, Dylan, for that live report.
And we have much more on this online, including a link to the complete family handbook released by RPS and a list of other local schools' back-to-school plans. You can find a link to all of that at mystateline.com.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker puts more restrictions in place meant to slow the resurgence of COVID cases in the state. Starting August 15th, all sports, including youth and adults, will be put into one of 3 risk levels. Low-risk sports like tennis and baseball will be allowed to hold games. Those games will have to be limited to within conferences or regions. Medium-risk sports like basketball and soccer will be limited to inter-team scrimmages only, but no games against other teams. High-risk sports like football will only be allowed to hold non-contact practices, but no games.
With rising rates of spread of the virus, with rising positivity rates throughout Illinois and the entire United States, this is a situation where the toughest choice is also the safest choice.
So what does this all mean for high school athletes ready for a return to the field?
The IHSA laid out its plan moving forward. Scott Leber joins us now in the studio. And Scott, some seasons are getting shuffled around.
Yeah, that's right. The fall sports of football, boys soccer, and girls volleyball are shifting to February starts. Spring sports are being pushed back to May 1st starts, and the seasons for all sports are just being shortened up. The IHSA is doing its best to ensure that all sports still go on, but every sports season will be condensed. The only fall sports will be boys and girls golf, girls tennis, girls swimming, and boys and girls cross country, sports that have very little contact. The sports impacted the most are football, boys soccer, and girls volleyball. Those are traditionally fall sports, but they'll now start February 15th. The way the IHSA has set things up for now, they have preserved all the sports seasons, but they'll all be shortened.
Three-sport athletes, as an example, they'll still have in the 2021 school year the opportunity to play all three sports. To have opportunities to participate in the sports they ordinarily would within a certain time schedule. Three-sport athletes, as an example, they'll still have in the 2021 school year the opportunity to play all three sports.
Everything is, of course, fluid. Much could change over the coming months and even weeks as health concerns rise or fall. Guys, back to you.
And there's a lot to consider. All right, thanks, Scott. We have more details, plus a complete list of when each season will be held on our website. That's mystateline.com.
2 months after a May protest turned violent, a police review board weighs in on the actions of responding officers.
The finding of the Response to Resistance Review Board is that the Rockford police officers utilized the amount of force reasonable and necessary to effect the arrest and deter the criminal and destructive behavior of those that were in attendance.
This stems from May 30th protests at District 1 headquarters in Rockford. The board reviewed 120 hours of video and more than 90 police reports during its investigation. Police say the protest turned violent when some in the crowd destroyed a police department sign. Rocks and other objects were then thrown at responding officers. Officers reportedly used physical force, OC spray, tear gas, and other less than lethal weapons to disperse the crowd. Since some have complained police used excessive force, and they've demanded all charges from the night be dropped. Police Chief Dan O'Shea says he encourages more communication between police and the community.
Peaceful protests and the seat at the table that the mayor's talking about and the listening sessions we're having are the right direction. Causing anarchy and trying to destroy property and cause distress to businesses and people's homes, it cannot and will not be tolerated.
25 civilians and 18 police officers were hurt during the violence. In all, 10 protesters were arrested and charged.
We have an update to a Rockford apartment fire we first told you about last night. Investigators believe someone intentionally started it. This happened just after 8 o'clock on Auburn Court near Rockton and Auburn. One woman was treated for smoke inhalation. However, a family pet did die. Police have not announced any arrests in the case.
The community group trying to protect Rockford's oldest golf course says it's seeing success. Save Sinisippi Golf Course committee members say rounds played are up 14% this year. That's despite the course being closed for several weeks and COVID-19 restrictions. Last November, Rockford Park District agreed to keep the historic 9-hole golf course open for 2020. District administrators gave the community 1 year to fix the course's financial issues, which includes a $120,000 deficit.
This is a multi-year commitment for us. We know it wasn't going to turn around everything in 1 year, but that first year being a good kickoff gives us the opportunity to continue to do more things for next year and the year after.
Sinisippi's also added 2 new leagues, bringing the total up to 6.
Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Sports Director Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
ComEd's CEO faces questions for the first time about the company's role in an alleged bribery scheme involving Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan.
The company admitted, quote, wrongful conduct at a public hearing today. The Illinois Commerce Commission pressed ComEd for more answers. It wants to know how it plans to pay a $200 million fine without passing the costs on to customers. The fine helped the company avoid prosecution. Company leaders have also agreed to cooperate with the ongoing FBI investigation into Speaker Madigan.
And we will certainly cooperate as best we can. As part of the deferred prosecution agreement, ComEd has admitted to misconduct that is inconsistent with our values. On behalf of ComEd, I want to tell you that I am sorry for that conduct.
Speaker Madigan has faced mounting calls for his resignation. He says he has done nothing wrong.
8 libraries get some nuclear-powered help. The Exelon station in Byron donated $500 each to libraries from Byron to Rochelle. The money will go towards summer reading and educational programs. Some of those programs are online. Oregon's library will use the money to upgrade computers.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
Well, it's been a little more sticky out there this afternoon as our dew point numbers have climbed into the upper 60s and low 70s. Probably felt a little bit more humid to you. We've been mostly dry, but as a cold front has worked across parts of northern Illinois, showers, thunderstorms lining up from west to east developed here early this afternoon. Produced some pretty heavy rainfall. Didn't move a whole lot, but as they continue to move to the south, you notice really weakening and almost fizzling out just along a lake breeze here over far northeastern DeKalb County. Another isolated thunderstorm kind of developing, but things are going to stay pretty quiet as we go through the majority of the night. Now, we're watching another system, an area of low pressure back off to our west. This will kind of slide to our southwest here tonight. It'll spread cloud cover northward. Most of this rain and thunderstorms moving into Missouri and southern Illinois. This will stay mostly to the south because it'll be battling high pressure up to the north, but we still could see a couple isolated showers and thunderstorms here as we head into the overnight. And you can see with Futurecast kind of showing that here about 1-2 o'clock tomorrow morning. Skies will stay mostly cloudy, isolated shower during the morning hours. As that low pressure system passes to our south, our winds will be shifting around to the northeast tomorrow. We get more cloud cover tomorrow than what we had today in some spots. Couple of breaks here and there, but as we pull in a little bit of moisture off of Lake Michigan, could see an isolated shower or two kind of pop up during the afternoon. Best chance for rain will be just to our south, so for our southern counties. So let's say maybe from Sterling to Dixon to Franklin Grove to Paw Paw. Could see a couple more showers here as we go through the afternoon. By Friday, high pressure begins to build in, and this will kind of help clear out our skies, although we'll see a little extra cloud cover build up for the afternoon and then into the evening. Temperature wise, our numbers today, we got close to 90 degrees. We're at 82 right now in Rockford, 85 in Belvedere, 81 in Rochelle. Look at the heat index though. It feels like 93 degrees in Sterling, and that heat index this afternoon did get into the low 90s for some. Our weather watcher Bob here in Rockford checking in 87. There's that dew point number up to 71, but that will drop as we go through the night tonight. A live look with our Mercedale Skytrack camera out of the Rochelle Airport. We've got some clearing now that we've had those showers kind of pass through. Temperatures tonight down around 67 degrees. Isolated thunderstorm here this evening. A few showers possible overnight, and then again into tomorrow. We'll hang on to the cloud cover for the afternoon. Northeasterly wind coming in at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Temperatures near 81. Lower 80s here as we go through the weekend. Not too bad actually. Friday, Saturday. Could see some showers on Sunday. Might get into a little rainy period early next week, but oh, look at those temperatures. We could see highs, guys, in the 70s next week.
Now, the Mapleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
Well, the IHSA is doing its best in these trying times to try to preserve all the high school sports seasons, but that means some shifting around. As of now, all the sports for the upcoming school year are still on, but all seasons will be condensed. And the fall sports of football, volleyball, and girls volleyball, that is, will move to February starts, and those seasons will be condensed. Football especially could be a lot shorter.
But we would anticipate more like a 6 to 7 game regular season, and then moving into some regional kind of postseason competition in a somewhat bracketed format to have teams still get 9 games in, but the last 2 or 3 games being more of what we design to be some form of postseason.
Lena Winslow's football team's coming off a state championship last fall. The Panthers expect to contend for another championship this year. Head coach Rick Aaron says, hey, whatever it takes, they'll try to make the best of it, even if it means starting practices in mid-February. We're going to hear from Coach Aaron coming up on our 6 o'clock newscast. Meanwhile, the Blackhawks are not dropping their team name, but they are going forward. They are banning fans, though, from wearing Indian headdresses at home games and at all team events. The Blackhawks say the headdresses are sacred symbols and they should not be worn as a costume for everyday wear.
For the most part, it was really a sunny summer day, although surprisingly, it didn't feel like it, I don't think because the humidity was that high, but we got pretty close to 90.
I know, and it was still warm, but the breeze helped a little bit too, right, Candace?
Yeah, that's right. We had a nice breeze out there. But yeah, it felt a little more sticky this afternoon than what it's been the past couple of days, but kind of our last humid day out there as a cold front actually moving just to the south. Now, you see some of those showers and thunderstorms that fired up along that front. No severe weather with them, but there were some heavy downpours. Actually had localized area just north and northeast of Polo. Radar estimates about a ½ an inch up to an inch of rain coming down, so some pretty heavy downpours associated with that, but really kind of fizzling out here this evening. Now, I am going to keep an isolated shower in during the overnight tonight, just as we still hang on to some moisture. Temperatures with the cloud cover near 67. Not going to completely get rid of some of that humidity tonight, but it will feel a little more comfortable tomorrow. Tomorrow, unfortunately, we might end up with more cloud cover than sunshine for the afternoon. Temperatures as a result in the lower 80s. Could see a couple of scattered showers throughout the day. Better chance a little bit further to our south. Low 80s through the weekend. And guys, temperatures possibly in the 70s by early next week.
That's going to be nice. Thanks, Candice.
And thank you for spending a little time with us. Stay safe.